a lot of people on the internet, once again, are not liking this halftime performance, right? And so, like I said, people on the internet are hating on it, but it's not just people on the internet. No, they actually, believe it or not, we have a Daily Mail article right here, and it's talking about Kendrick's halftime show performance. And it's shocking. So, right here, it says Kendrick Lamar slammed for worst halftime show ever during Super Bowl 2025 performance before swipe at rival Drake. Right there, you see him once again. Let's get into it. So, right here has Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime performance in New Orleans on Sunday drew criticism from some fans who labeled it as the worst halftime show ever. Maybe, but probably not. Continuing on, fresh off his Grammy wins, the rapper 37 didn't seem to carry that momentum into the performance at the Caesars Superdome as he hit the stage before the Philadelphia Eagles defeated the Kansas City Chiefs. And I hate that they call him the Pulitzer Prize winner, but that's true, he is. Showcased his lyrical prowess as he started out the performance on top of the car before taking a swipe at his hip-hop rival Drake. Okay, it talks about SZA. I want to hear what they talk about the internet. Here we go. It's talking about Not Like Us. Okay, here we go. So he was joined by a crew of backup dancers, right? It's talking about it, whatever. It's still talking about the performance. I want to find where it gets into like the internet shitting on it because that's the most important thing, right? We have the pictures, right? Samuel L. Jackson, which that was cool. We can admit that was kind of cool. Here we go. So fans blasted the show on social media with one writing, worst halftime show ever. Not a fan. I genuinely can't tell if I'm being biased against Kendrick, but I think this is the worst halftime show I've seen in a minute, another added. I thought The Weeknd was bad, but Kendrick Lamar took that spot. Worst halftime show ever. So far, the best part of the halftime show is Samuel L. Jackson, another complaint, which, that was a cool twist. I really like how they made Samuel L. Jackson like Uncle Sam. I thought that was cool. Continuing on, the reviews are really bad. Somehow Kendrick is worse than the game itself, which it was a really bad game. This halftime show at the Super Bowl by Kendrick is hot garbage, worst of all time, another wrote. The night ended with the Philadelphia Eagles destroying the Kansas City Chiefs 40-22. Okay, so now we can get into it, right? Because this is very important. We have to get into this. My thoughts, right? Because you guys, obviously, you're clicking on this. You might care what I have to say. And so here it goes. So when Kendrick made this whole performance about Drake, somebody said on Twitter, this is the best performance somebody has made about another man since Passion of the Christ. And it's true. The fact that Kendrick Lamar, he has so many hits. I think it was Billboard said Good Kid, Mad City is the best rap album of the 21st century so far, right? He did not play a single song from Good Kid, Mad City. Could you believe that? And he's got a lot. You have Money Trees. You have Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. You have Mad City. You have Poetic Justice. I mean, I hate to say it, but the one with Drake, Poetic Justice, like stuff like that. Good songs. It just doesn't make any sense to me how you wouldn't play any songs from arguably your best album ever. And then he played one. I don't even think he played anything from Damn. Maybe he played all right. I don't even remember the track list, but the majority was from GNX. He played All the Stars, which was a good song, whatever. But he played a bunch of songs from GNX, and I'm sorry, it just didn't hit. It really didn't hit. Like, also, too, you couldn't hear anything about the audio. You could not hear the audio at all. The audio was, for whatever reason, the audio from Kendrick and the audio from SZA was like, the crowd, you could kind of hear like the background noise of the crowd. Like overall, it was just a shitty production. And he literally made his whole performance about Drake, kind of hinting on, oh, am I gonna perform Not Like Us? Am I gonna do it? And then he finally did it. But it's like, no, man, like what are you doing here? You're literally making this whole thing about another guy. If you're that good, which I think you are that good, obviously, I'm on Team Drake, but I think you are that good, why are we doing this? Why are we even here? And so, personally, the internet didn't like it. I don't think it's as bad as the internet was trying to make it, but at the same time, too, man, that performance wasn't, like, made for the Super Bowl. That's like, people are saying it's like an arena performance, and I get that. but I generally didn't like it. Like, the tone, it wasn't something that you would think the Super Bowl would bring. It was kind of like a low key tone by him, you know what I mean? And he was talking about, oh, the revolution won't be televised, but bitch, you're on television. That's number one thing. You're on television. And then number two, the industry literally put you here. Rock Nation, the industry literally put you here. You are not part of the revolution. You are exactly opposite. So, like, I just don't understand here. And so Drake's gonna sue UMG. He's gonna sue all these people. We'll see what happens. But it's very interesting. It's very interesting because did I enjoy this? Not really, right? And also too, we're gonna talk about Serena Williams real quick. Serena Williams. This is somebody that obviously used to date Drake. We all know. And she said the only reason that she came to the Super Bowl was because Kendrick asked, and she came. But, like, you're married. I think you have, like, 2 kids. You got a whole ass husband, and you're dancing. You're crip walking. By the way, Serena Williams' sister was killed in 2003 by Crips. You're crip walking to a Drake diss song, and you just happen to date Drake. You're one of Drake's exes. You don't think that that's a little bit weird when you have a whole ass husband and kids, and you're dancing at the Super Bowl to a song that's dissing your ex? You don't think that's a little bit sus? I'd be a little bit. I'd feel some type of way. But if you've seen The Husband, you kind of get why. He's like a pasty, skinny white guy who's like kind of skinny fat. So you kind of get why. But still, the Super Bowl halftime performance, man, it could have had potential. But you gotta play your hits. You have to. Every single person who's performed in the Super Bowl halftime show in the past, I'd say 6 years that I can remember, they played the hits. You gotta play the hits. And you brought SZA too. You should have been able to capitalize on that, man. I don't know. I don't know. It's just it's very interesting. It's very interesting to see all this play out, and we'll see because Drake has this album coming out on Friday. It's called like Some Sexy Songs for You, which I'm excited. It's the Party Next Door collab album. It'll be a good time. I'm very excited to listen to it. So that's all I'll say about that, man. It's just a little bit because it could have been much better, right? It could have been much better. Obviously, I'm a Drake fan, but it doesn't look like the internet liked this thing, man. The internet was not having its way with this thing at all. Really, I'm personally not a fan. It could have been better, but like, what are you doing, man? You made it entirely about Drake. So that's all. The transition, right? Because there's always a bunch of